Yeah. Look at me, I'm a hot mess. My vehicle arm broke down. That's it right over there. Won't start. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not gonna front like I am a mechanic. And somebody's coming to hopefully get me back up on the road and running. The money stops when the cargo stops. We're gonna see how all this is gonna work out. Good morning, all y'all YouTubers out there. Today's a beautiful morning, beautiful morning. I'm up here, I-80, traveling through Wyoming. You know, just big ups to all my Wyoming peoples out here as I pass through the I-80. You know, beautiful country out here. Right now, you feel good. I'm making money. I'm moving freight. I'm traveling from point A to point B. All the wheels are spinning. God willing. I just changed the oil on my engine. Everything is fine. But when you're broken down and you're on the side of the road, that's the ugly part. That's like, shucks. What did I overlook? What could I have done better? Why am I here? This sucks. Now, if you're anybody who's got any miles underneath their belt, at some point in time, I'm sure has to a lesser or greater ordeal experience to breakdown or having to be on the side of the road. Yesterday, that would have been me. Yesterday was a bad day. I would say yesterday and into the day, 2 days ago into yesterday, I'm shut down. I'm not going anywhere. Turned out that I didn't have any power. Turned out that at some point in the past, someone who was working on the vehicle just didn't follow through and dot their I's and cross their T's, and there was something that was overlooked. The result was, I'm down. You know, how do you handle that? You realize just how far you are away from everybody you know. When you're moving, you could be like, well, okay, I'm gonna be home with my peer group in a matter of hours, if not days. But when you're broken down, then it's like, oh wow, that 1,000 miles seemed a lot further away than when you're moving. Mentally prepare yourself. It might be a period of time when you're on your own. Yesterday, I had to go into a crisis mode. I realized that all my devices, my phones and everything are powered up through this truck. And I lost power. First thing I had to do was find somewhere where I can charge those devices. You know, I should say that second. First place, to find somewhere I can stay warm. You know, so I was able to kill two birds with one stone with that. You know, there was a local BK restaurant, went up in there, you know, ordered some food and sat down, found me a plug, plugged in my devices, kind of got my head together while I try to size up the situation as best as I can and give him the most relevant information so that he can, you know, assess what he needs to do moving forward. You know, more answers that I have when he begins to ask questions, the better. I'm not a diesel mechanic, I'm a novice when it comes to diagnostics and things of that nature. You know, that's not my forte. You know, but I will do the best I can. You know, is it the starter? Is it the battery? Now I just got some brand new batteries. Not so long ago. You know, maybe about a month. I mean, soon enough that they're still on warranty. My Kenworth T680 takes 4 batteries to operate this thing, get this thing up and going, you know. So through my powers of deduction, I'm like, well, it can't be the batteries, you know. Well, you know, that's just my linear, one-dimensional, non-mechanic behind, you know, trying to come up with an answer that sounds rational. I went and got some booster cables, a booster battery, which is kind of like a jump box. I'm grasping at straws here. I tried to fix it, you know. I went down there messing with the connector, scrubbing off the corrosion, playing around with the connectors to the starter, you know, because I'm thinking that's it. Then I'm thinking that it is the starter. Then now into the next day. I got some pretty important cargo back here. Customer wants to get their stuff, you know. They don't care about how they get it or what's wrong. They just, you know, this is business and they want what they want. And, you know, we got to figure out how to get it there. At some point, we have to defer to a professional. Stayed the night. It was cold. I'm up in there all cold. I'm like this. And the truck broke down. Can't figure out how to get it moving again. Now, mind you, let me say this. I turned the truck off. You know what I'm saying? I turned the semi off. And then when I tried to turn it right back on, it wouldn't start. So it's not like it was smoking or I was dealing with something that I heard that was a problem. This was a matter of turn truck off, truck won't come back on. You know, everything else was operating just fine. I just got my oil change, fluid was topped off just not even 48 hours ago on my reset. I'm like, man, where the heck did this problem come from? You know, there's a process, because depending on where you're at on the road, help is further or shorter away. You know, I'm in many different states, many different, you know, towns, villages, hamlets, cities, communities, you know, and there's a different answer for every situation. The formula on my end or our end might be the same. Big old UPS. Yeah. These guys be out here pulling doubles and triples out here. Hey, dude, man, if you're gonna pass me, just go ahead and pass me. See, I don't understand this, man. Like, I don't even got my foot on the throttle right now. Let me go ahead and put my Jake on. I'm gonna let this guy pass me. Come on, go, go, go. Like, you gonna pull up an inch in front of me and not keep going? Nah, dudes, it don't work that way. Now, there you go. All right, see, I don't got no problem with that. I'm loaded down. I'm loaded down to the max. I'm right at about 79,000 pounds, you know, which is, can't fit much more on me than, you know, so I'm driving cautiously, and many times the weight actually pushes the vehicle. I can just sit back and the weight just be like, but I digress. The kind of problem that can be fixed on site. That's my determination. Like, yo, you know what? A tow truck pulling a semi with this much weight, you know, that's gonna be pricey. The name of the game is, can we find somebody that can fix this problem on site? My boss spent the next day, which was yesterday, all morning long, making phone calls, trying to, you know, bring me some service. Eventually the guy gets here, and he immediately dismisses the theory that it's the starter. Says no. He educates me, he schools me up, you know, he tells me about how the power works in my truck. Once the voltage drops underneath a particular level, there's like a cutoff switch in the truck where the truck won't even try to start. You know, once it reads that it's not enough juice, it won't even go through the motions up. In a regular passenger vehicle or regular pickup truck, you hear that sound, it sounds like a starter problem. He's having a hard time figuring out this enigma as well. He's scratching his head like, wow, things aren't adding up. He has this little battery tester, power tester. He's charging up my batteries and everything. Basically, my batteries were not wired together to work properly as one, and that was the problem. So that even though I had new batteries, the belief is, well, it's not even a belief. The last people who took those batteries out put them back in incorrectly, you know. And whereas the power is like Voltron, you know, you need the power of 4. Voltron ain't no good if it's just half of Voltron, you know. You know, if you have 4 pieces and they're working together as 2 halves instead of working all together as one. So that's pretty much what happened with the batteries, you know. The batteries are supposed to be working 4 as 1, not 4 working together as 2 pairs of 2. It sucked my life right out of the 2 batteries. After a while, there wasn't enough juice for those 2 to start my truck, and voila, in hindsight, it seems like a simplicity, right? Like, that was an easy fix, right? Yeah, that was an easy fix once you knew what the problem was. And even, you know, even the guy who came out, he was messing around with it for about 45, 50 minutes before he stumbled upon and realized what the problem was. He had to go buy a couple of parts and had to jerry-rig the parts, because the specific parts that I need for a vehicle like this are not going to always be sold at, let's say, O'Reilly's or Auto Care or you know, your typical auto centers, you know. That is because they're very unique for these kind of vehicles. It's a hit or miss, but you can make them. He made them and got me up and going, and I'm like, yes, you know, now I'm making money, business is rolling. You look around for your provisions. You don't know if you're going to be up and running in 10 minutes or if you're going to be down for a week, unless you're the kind of person that your strong suit is in mechanics, diesel mechanics, and you just get through it. You know, if you're working with a good team, I work with a good team, with my fleet manager and my dispatcher, you know, and they work together, and we all work together, and we got through it. A lot of it is in the then